Hello, I am an engineer at Cloud4U, an enterprise cloud provider. Welcome to our training course. Today, we'll talk about networks inside the virtual data center offered by the Cloud Director. There are three main categories of networks. The first is external networks, which are provided to connect to the client data centers. These networks connect directly to the Edge Service Gateway, whose functions belong to the virtual organization and are finally sent and configured from there. The next type of networks is Org VDC networks, networks that are inside the virtual data center. They connect the apps, VM, and also allow connections to the Edge Service Gateway to broadcast traffic outward. The app networks are networks that are inside virtual applications and connect virtual machines only inside the virtual application in which it is created. These networks can also be connected to the Org VDC networks for further traffic exchange between applications. Let us take a closer look at the Org VDC networks and how they can be connected and used internally. The first type is isolated. This is a subnet which has no output outside its organization. This can be converted into a rooted subnet. Routed. This is a network which is connected to the Edge Gateway, its traffic is routed, and all functions related to NAT, VPN, etc. are available. The third type is cross-VDC networks. Serves to combine a group of two or more virtual data centers to exchange traffic between them. Now, we will try to create an isolated VDC, connect a VM to it, and change its type and make it routed. In the first step, we have three VDCs. We will create a network 192.168.100.0/24, make it isolated, and connect to it. VM3. At this stage, we will create a subnet 192.168.10.0/24 inside the virtual application, connected to virtual machines VM1 and VM2, and connect all these virtual applications to the network 192.168.100.0. Finally, we will make this network routed and connected to the Edge Gateway. So here is our virtual lab. Here we see VAP1 and VAP2. In VAP2, virtual machine VM3. On the Networks tab, we don't have any subnets. And now, the first thing we do is to create a subnet that we connect to VAP2 and to the virtual machine VM3. To do this, we go to the Network section and click on Add, and we will get the default isolated option. This is what we will use after we convert it to routed name, for example, 192.168.100.1/24. We will not check share. This is just to connect the virtual data centers into one network. Click Next, and here we need to define the pool of addresses that can be allocated and used by the virtual machines. If all is well, the Add button is active. We add as DNS. The address of its gateway 192.168.100.1. Click Next. If we have done everything correctly without errors, at this step the Finish button is green. We push it, and now, in the subnet Happy Network, our virtual organization will be created. This process will take some time. We can go in to see the settings. Here is our network type. In the DNS, we can see that we have specified the address of our gateway. Let's go back to networks. When this process is finished, the network is ready. For now, we can go to the VApp. Here, at the bottom, You can also see the task list, and you can see that our networking task is still running. It is created. The process is successful. Now we want to connect our network to application B2, or more precisely, our virtual application B2 to connect to this network. To do this, we go to Networks, click on New. Here we can choose what type of subnet we want to add. In this case, it is Org VDC Network. The network we already created. Click Add, and the subnet will be added. Now, go to our virtual machines, go down to the hardware section, tick Connected, select our subnet, our pool, and press Save. Now our VM3 will be connected to Happy Network, and we can see it in the network diagram. Now we have to create a network in the virtual application 192.168.10.0. Connect virtual machines 1 and 2 to it and connect the whole virtual application A1 through the gateway to Happy Network. Go back to the VApp section. Select VApp A1. We also go to Networks and see that there are no subnets. Click on New and now select the VApp network. Let's give it a name. We have to add the gateway. DNS will be the gateway address. Be sure to specify the range of addresses that can be used for virtual machines. Let it be 192.168.100.168.10.200. Click Add. At the bottom, we'll see the Connect to Org VDC Network checkbox. This means that if we check it, we will connect our internal network to the Org VDC network. Select the subnet Happy Network and click Add. We'll wait while the network will be created. When network is ready, we can connect the virtual machines VM1 and VM2 hardware section and select our subnet. Don't forget to check the Connected checkbox. Click Save. Here we save that the cloud directly connects everything. Second machine, select Network IP pool, tick Connected and Save. It informs that the previous operation wasn't completed. Wait a while until the operation is finished. Let's say the operation has been completed successfully for VM1. For VM2, we will proceed the same way. Select the subnet, static IP pool, check the box Connected, click Save. The process is not fast. It is because the NAT and firewall rules are applied on the subnet. We are at the end of the process, and in the tab Network diagram, we can see that we have two virtual machines connected to Happy the App network, which in its turn connected to Happy Network. Let's go to the network and see that services work correctly. Now, inside the VIA A1, we will try to affect the communication between the virtual machines. Here is the virtual machine with address 192.168.10.100. And the next one should be with the address 101. Let's try to ping. There is a connection with VM1 and we can get to VM2. Inside our VApp, we have a connection between the VMs. Now we want to make connectivity between VM3 and VM1. We will try to open an NSH connection on VM1. To do that, we need to open the port on the firewall. We have to go to Happy VApp Network, go to Services section, and check if the firewall and NAT service are active. We add the firewall rules and make them active. Check the box to make it work correctly, under the tab NAT. We need another rule, which will forward port 22 from our gateway to the virtual machine VM1. Once again, traffic that comes to the gateway that serves virtual machines on port 22 will be transmitted to the virtual machine VM1 port 22. Click Save. SSH service will be available to us and we can see the rule has been added. We have to go to the virtual machine to check it. Here is the virtual machine VM3. Open the console. We need to open SSH connection to the external address of the gateway. We know our gateway is connected to Happy Network in network connection. Under IP locations, we know that our virtual machine and the 101 is the interface of the gateway. This is the interface we need to open SSH connection. Check it and we see that we are in the machine with the IP address 192.168.10.100. According to our design, we have just made a connection from the machine VM3 to the machine VM1. Continue and connect our Happy Network to the Edge Service Gateway. Let's make it rooted. For that, we will go to Networks and select our subnet. It is now isolated. Click Edit, tap Connection, select Connect to Edge Gateway. We have the only Edge Gateway. Select it and click Save. The range given by the network was specified in the DHCP field during its creation and therefore it would not connect to the edge. We removed the DHCP and now we'll connect it to the gateway. Once again, select Gateway and click Save. Now our Happy Network is rooted. It is connected to the Edge Gateway and the addresses of the gateway is 192.168.100.1/24. It is also the DNS. What are you gonna do now? With the VM3, try to ping the site, for example, Google Server DNS. But before we do that, we need to configure the NAT rules in the Edge gateway. Here we need to add the rule. Choose an NAT rule, select our subnet, and select the address where everything will be broadcast. Let's see how to find it. It's very easy. It is written here, suballocated IP pool, and there is also 172.16.1.10. You can have several IP addresses in the field. Choose any one. Again, go to Configure Services. Choose NAT, our network. Address 172.16.1.10. Select Enable. Write description Happy Network. Click on Save Changes. Now, the changes will be applied and the rule will be active. Now, try to ping the addresses of the external environment. These are the public addresses of Google. So today we learned what kind of networks you can have and also how to create and configure them. Thank you for your attention.